Dr. Marcus Chen stood in the observation deck of the Galactic Veterinary Institute, watching the alien delegates whisper among themselves. Their translator devices buzzed with barely concealed mockery. A human veterinarian? At the most prestigious xenobiological medical facility in 3 sectors? The Quillrath representative's scales rippled with what Marcus had learned to recognize as contemptuous amusement. The human believes he can treat diseases we've studied for millennia, clicked the insectoid Vexthar ambassador, its mandibles chattering. How charming. Marcus had heard it all before. Humans were newcomers to the galactic stage, barely 2 generations since first contact. Their medical knowledge was considered primitive, their understanding of alien biology laughable. The fact that the Institute had accepted his application at all was due to a bureaucratic oversight and the Council's diversity quota. He didn't mind. Marcus had spent 15 years treating animals on Earth, everything from injured raptors to sick elephants. He'd learned long ago that life, regardless of its origin, shared fundamental principles. Pain was pain, fear was fear, and healing required more than just textbook knowledge. The mockery intensified when Director Zalthun announced the month's impossible case. A void serpent from the Kepler abyss. The room fell silent. Void serpents were legend even among spacefaring species, creatures that dwelled in the lightless depths of gas giants, growing up to 3 kilometers long. Their crystalline scales could slice through starship hulls. Their venom could dissolve molecular bonds. They were considered unkillable, untouchable, and utterly untreatable. One had been captured after a mining accident on Kepler 442b. The creature was dying, its internal bioluminescent organs failing. The mining corporation was offering an astronomical sum, not out of compassion, but because a dead void serpent would contaminate the entire planet's atmosphere with its decomposing toxins. "We need a volunteer," Zalthun announced, her crystalline voice heavy with resignation. "The creature has already killed 3 Quillrath specialists. It cannot be sedated, our chemicals only enrage it further." No one spoke. The greatest minds in xenobiology sat frozen, their earlier arrogance evaporated. Marcus raised his hand. The laughter returned, but now it was tinged with desperation and disbelief. The Vexthar ambassador actually tried to talk him out of it. "Human, you don't understand. This isn't some domesticated Earth creature. The void serpent is death incarnate." "I understand," Marcus replied quietly, "but something's hurting, and someone needs to help." They transported him to Kepler 442b in a shielded medical vessel. The void serpent was contained in a massive reinforced chamber, filled with pressurized methane atmosphere. Through the viewport, Marcus could see it. A magnificent creature coiled in obvious agony. Its once brilliant bioluminescence reduced to sporadic, pained flickers. The alien medical team remained in orbit, monitoring through remote feeds. They'd given Marcus an environmental suit, a neural scanner, and a collection of experimental medicines. What they hadn't given him was hope. Marcus entered the chamber alone. The void serpent's head, massive as a shuttlecraft, turned toward him immediately. Its eyes, each the size of Marcus's entire body, blazed with ancient fury. A warning hiss filled the chamber, vibrating through his bones despite the suit's insulation. Marcus didn't run. He'd faced down charging rhinos and cornered tigers. Fear was natural, but panic was a choice. Instead, he did something the aliens found incomprehensible. He sat down. For 3 hours, Marcus simply sat in the methane chamber, 20 meters from a creature that could kill him with a casual movement. He studied its breathing patterns, the way its scales rippled, the specific locations where its bioluminescence had failed. He watched it watch him. Slowly, the serpent's aggressive posture relaxed. Perhaps it recognized that this small creature posed no threat. Perhaps it was simply too exhausted to maintain its defensive stance. Marcus began speaking softly, knowing the creature couldn't understand his words. Tone mattered more than content. He'd calmed countless animals this way, his voice a bridge across the barrier of species. Then he saw it, a pattern in the failing bioluminescence, concentrated along the creature's ventral spine. Not random system failure, infection. A parasitic organism, likely picked up during the mining explosion, was consuming the serpent's light-producing bacteria. The alien medicines wouldn't work. They were designed for the serpent's primary biology. not for the symbiotic relationship between the creature and its bioluminescent flora. But Marcus remembered something from his studies of Earth's deep-sea creatures. Certain bacteriophages could target specific infections without harming beneficial bacteria. He contacted the orbital team with his theory. The Quillrath specialist dismissed it immediately. Impossible. We've run every scan. There's no parasitic infection. Because you weren't looking for something that small, Marcus replied. You assumed the bioluminescence was failing on its own. But it's being eaten. Working with the ship's medical synthesizer, Marcus created a modified bacteriophage cocktail based on Earth marine biology principles, adapted for the serpent's chemistry. It was desperate, unprecedented, and theoretically insane. The void serpent watched with those massive eyes as Marcus approached with an injection system the size of a spear. One strike of its tail would kill him instantly. Marcus placed his gloved hand on the creature's scales, a gesture of trust that made the orbital observers gasp. He found the injection site and administered the treatment. Then he waited. For 16 hours, Marcus stayed in that chamber, monitoring the void serpent's condition. The creature seemed to understand he was trying to help. It remained motionless, its breathing labored but steady. When the bioluminescence began to return, first as tiny sparks, then as flowing rivers of light across the serpent's massive body, the orbital team erupted in stunned celebration. Within 3 days, the void serpent had recovered completely. When they opened the chamber, the creature didn't attack. Instead, it lowered its massive head toward Marcus in what every observer recognized as a gesture of acknowledgement. Back at the Galactic Veterinary Institute, no one laughed anymore. Dr. Marcus Chen was appointed head of the new Department of Unconventional Xenobiology. His methods, patience, observation, and the willingness to see beyond established knowledge became required curriculum. The Quillrath representative approached him at the ceremony, scales rippling with what Marcus now recognized as respect. How did you know, human? How did you see what we missed? Marcus smiled. On Earth we have a saying, all creatures great and small. I just remembered that size doesn't change the fundamentals of life. Everything that lives can hurt, and everything that hurts deserves a chance to heal. The galaxy was learning what humanity had always known. Sometimes the greatest wisdom comes not from those who know the most, but from those who care the most.